friends, it's UrsulasRevenge and welcome back to Star Stable. Today we are going to talk about light, how you unlock it, and some of the best and quickest ways to unlock it so you can unlock all of the nodes along your path of choice. So without any further ado, let's get started. So if you have played at all with the new Hollowwoods update and the new magic path system, you are familiar with light and why you need it. But if you aren't, light is a resource that you can collect in the Hollowwoods from fireflies or wisps, and collecting that allows you to unlock the different nodes along either the Path of Whimsy and the Path of Runology. Path of Terror is coming soon. As you can see, I've already unlocked a bunch of things. This was everything that you could unlock the first week, and now we have 3 more levels on both paths that we were able to unlock as of this week's update. Now, getting that much light might seem a little bit overwhelming and daunting even to some people, especially if you don't play a lot, but first of all, the main takeaway is that you are supposed to take this slowly. You are supposed to do this gradually, a little bit of the time. You're not supposed to speed run it or kind of go overboard like I did. But to be fair, I honestly just had a lot of fun doing it, and I wasn't even planning on completing the paths. But what I will tell you is everything that I learned doing that. So if you just kind of want to get it done, I have all of the tips and tricks on how you can earn light quickly. So some of the ways that you can earn light is by doing the puzzles, or by finding it in the wild, or by collecting fireflies and wisps. Now, collecting fireflies and wisps can be a bit time consuming, especially if you don't like running around all that much, but luckily we have the puzzles and the other ways that you can find it pretty easily. By far, the best way to get light is by doing the rune carving puzzles. To unlock the rune carving puzzles, you're going to go to the Path of Runology, and you are going to look for this icon under level 2, which is the ancient art of rune carving. It's 150 light, so you will have to get light by just, gathering fireflies. It really doesn't take that long to get 100. It just is a little bit of effort running around and finding them. But that said, once you unlock this, you'll be getting light super, super quick. So you're going to unlock rune carving, and you're going to do a quest with Jade, and she's going to give you a little tutorial. Eventually, you're also going to unlock rune carving techniques flips for 150. As you go further on, later in the levels, you can also unlock shifts and double shifts. I'm a little bit far off for double shifts, but let's go ahead and unlock shifts. So now that you have unlocked the ability to actually do the rune carving puzzles, now you're going to go run around and look for the actual puzzles to do. You're essentially going to be looking for a little slab of stone. It'll either be on a tree or on the ground. There's a couple of good places to look for them are over by the cows. You can check over by the abandoned summer house, or along the riverbeds on either side of the rivers. And just like that, we've already found one. Now, these guys spawn literally all over the place, and they are spawning constantly throughout the day. So as soon as you finish one, just go look for another one. You're going to press E to open up the rune carving menu. Now, another thing that I forgot to mention over at the Motherstone, there's also different difficulties you can unlock with rune carving. You start out with 3x3, which will grant you 30 light, but you can also unlock 4x4, I think in level 3 or 2, which grants you 50, and then further on you can unlock 5x5s, which will give you 80. For the purpose of this tutorial, let's just stick to 3x3 so you can get the basics. In addition to the 30, 50, or 80 light that you get depending on your difficulty, you also get 20 light for each challenge that you add on top of that. So if I were to add rotate, it goes up to 50. Flip in addition to that is 7, and shift in addition to that is 90. And double shift would get me to 110. For easy difficulty, which is already a super quick way to get some light. Now, how to solve each of these? So since I've chosen the 3 challenges that I have available, it's going to randomize which challenge it gives me at each time. So right now I have a horizontal flip. This one's pretty straightforward. You're going to take your image on the left, and you're going to do the instruction in the middle and replicate it on the right. So if I'm going to horizontally flip this, I know that this line is going to stay on the inside. And then I know that that dot is connected to the line at the bottom, and we're going to hit check. If it's green, it means you are correct and you're all good to go. If it lights up red, that means you did something wrong. For example, it'll glow like that. There's no penalty for getting it wrong, so just keep trying again. So now for shift, we are going to take our design here and we're going to shift it one spot in the direction that it tells us, which is right. So I know that this line here is going to shift to the middle, and this dot is going to go to the right side. So line shifts to the middle, dot follows, check, and we're all good. The first one it gives you is actually rotate, which kind of is a little bit tricky for a first one to, truthfully, but never fear, it's solvable. So you're going to take your design and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees to the right, which means we're going to essentially flip our square one side to the right. Kind of imagine it like a wheel. It's going to turn to the right. So now if this is going to turn to the right, I know that my middle line is going to be in the middle, horizontal. Keeping that in mind, I know that this dot is going to follow it around to the bottom left corner. And there we go. Now the cool thing also about these puzzles is it takes your solution and it's the start of the next step. It also kind of helps you keep track of where the designs are, and eventually by like the 5th you kind of already know what's connected to what. So we're going to rotate this one 90 degrees again to the right, so I know that this middle line is going to be a vertical line, and this dot is going to carry up to the top corner. Alright, and now we're going to shift one up. So now this middle line is going to stay the same, because if I move this top to the bottom, it's still going to be aligned. So I know that that's going to stay the same. This one is going to shift up, but there's nowhere else for it to shift up to, which means it comes back down to the bottom. And there you go. Your runes are carved and your quest is complete. You can reap your bounty of, I don't even remember how many that was. 30, 40, 50, 60, 90? We got 90 off of that, and that was so quick. And then you just run around and look for more. Now, the cool thing about this also is that if there are specific challenges that you like better than others, like maybe you don't like rotate, you can just uncheck it. You don't need to do that one. And you're only losing, what, 20 light? You can collect 20 light easily another way. So that is the best way, in my opinion, to earn light. I just love those puzzles. I think they're a lot of fun. But let's talk about the other runestone puzzle that you can get. Now, this is the first introduction to the Path of Runology, is solving this puzzle here. Truthfully, this one's not really worth it. Even on harder difficulties, like up to medium, you do get 40, which is nice, at the cost of 1 garden powder, but for that 1 garden powder, you can actually get more light, and here's how. So going back over to the Motherstone, there are a couple of things that you might want to unlock in order to make the garden powders a worthwhile use of gathering light. So there are 2 things that you're going to want to unlock on the Path of Runology to get garden powders faster. The first is under level 1, you're going to want to collect lost magic. Runology students are known for being so consumed in their studies that they misplace important magical artifacts. You now have a chance to find garden powders in piles of leaves. In addition to that, you're going to want to unlock this one under level 3, Garden Powder Mastery. Through your studies, you have unlocked a deeper mastery over this magical twinkling powder. Trapped Sachels only require 3 garden powders to open instead of 5. When you unlock that last one, you are going to want to relaunch your game because it won't take effect until the next time you log in. But once you do, instead of 5 garden powders, you'll only need 3 to unlock chests. Now, the first one that we unlocked was leaf piles, so now you'll be able to find garden powders in leaf piles. You'll never, ever need to buy garden powders. Just run around and look for leaf piles and you will find a bunch quickly. You might not find it for your first couple of leaf piles and they can be a little bit rare, but I've not bought garden powders and I have 23. So, and I've used them. I've used them to unlock chests. So just pick a couple of leaf piles, run through them, collect what you find, and sure enough, soon you will find some garden powder. Some good places to look for leaves, although I believe they spawn everywhere, are by the cows. Across the river, there's like a little house. There's some in that forest too. Now once you find your 3 garden powders, you're going to look around for a trapped satchel like this. They'll be denoted with this little recycle symbol on top. There will be 5 of these around Hollow Woods on any given day, and one of these chests will give you 250 light. That's really the chest we're looking for. This one unfortunately only gives 100, which it's okay. I mean, you get these powders for free, so it's fine, but there are better ones for you to use your powders on. There's an additional perk that you can get that these fireflies will gravitate towards these satchels, making them easier to spot from a distance. that is pretty useful, honestly. If you have the extra light, go for it. But I mean, this is the video about how to get light, so you might not have that, and that is okay. $120 is not bad. I usually try to aim for 130 and higher. But if you find one that you want to trade for you, just go ahead and hit yes. In addition to getting your light, you also get a little bit of horse experience, which is nice. The last decent way to earn light is by following the wisps. The only thing about this is that they aren't exactly predictable. You can sometimes tell which firefly is going to be a wisp just by the way that it moves. It's a little bit more erratic, but it's not exactly a down science. I've also noticed that sometimes wherever I find a wisp, if I come back a little bit later after I've finished that wisp's journey, if I go back to the same spot, a wisp might be in the same spot again, so you might be able to chain a couple of wisps together like that. It doesn't always work, but even if it does, it's still only 20 light per wisp, and you kind of have to go all over Hollow Woods to figure out where they're going. If you prefer the wisps to the puzzles, though, if you hang around Hollowbrook Hideaway or the Abandoned Summer House, there tends to be a couple of wisps there, and the ones that appear in the area usually end at the hideaway, so you can just kind of camp there and wait for one to appear. That is it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button so you never miss another video like this. Let me know your favorite way of collecting light, or maybe I missed one. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!